Hi, this is Mr. Gibson, ready for your Digital Design 1 lesson about Pixlr, the online graphics uh, creation software that's free that you can get by going to pixlr.com/e. And we're going to go through this so that if you weren't in class, you can follow along. So first off, you want to navigate in Microsoft Teams, and you want to download the files that I placed there. Uh, right here. If you go to the Marble Studios logo lesson, go to View Assignment, and I'm on the teacher side, so when you click on there, you'll get right into the assignment. If you want to go ahead and take a look at that, here's what we're going to do. You're going to need to download these. So if you go to Poster Needs Logo, Download, and then Mag Cover, Download, and make sure that you keep track of where you downloaded that at, so that you can find them later. Now, once you open up Pixlr, see there it is, pixlr.com/e. Make sure you sign in so that you can save your work for later. Go to Open Image. Okay, we're going to go over to Mag Cover. So the premise of the lesson is we're going to extract this logo from this background and put it on this poster here. All right, so pretty easy. It's not going to take very much. If you've never used software like this before, I think you're going to be surprised at how easy it is. So make sure you can open it into full HD. The thing about Pixlr is it's great software, but it only downloads things in 72 dots per inch, which is screen resolution for websites and electronic stuff. Even though this is a very large 300 dots per inch image in Pixlr, we can't output in high resolution print stuff. So that's okay. We're just going to use it for electronic stuff. Hit apply, and we'll eventually come up here. Okay. Your workspace here is made up of a few things. So let's go around the board here. So this here is your toolbox. These are all of the tools you're going to need or want to go ahead and work with images. Here's the other thing. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can see this video processing software toolbox, but hopefully it's not in your way. This toolbox is set up according to use. So these four things are selection tools. And if you hover over the tool, it'll tell you, Pixlr will tell you what it is. So this is your range tool that you can use to move and transform and change. Your marquee tool to select things, either square or round. Your lasso, which you can use to freehand around certain things. And the magic wand, which will pick up a number of similar colors around the place that you click on the screen. Moving downward, these are your cutting tools. You can crop or cut or mask things. And then here are some blend tools to work with pixels that we'll get into in class. Photo manipulation tools to help brighten color or turn it black and white or darken or lighten. And then these are some of your drawing tools. So a pen, and a brush, color replace, eraser, fill, gradients, and then down here, text, color picker, zoom, and then these are your zoom and manipulation tools. So hand to move around or zoom in to zoom out. Alternatively, when you want to zoom in, your mouse wheel is very useful for that. And if you hold down your space bar, like so, it turns into hand, and I can now click and hold, and then drag around to get to different parts of the image. Okay? But what we're going to do is going to zoom back out right here, and we're going to extract this logo. Other parts of the workspace that you can take a look at is here is your tool options bar. So every time I click on a tool, a different set of option tools pops up, and you can use those to get more detail or do something specific with your tool. And we're going to get into that here in this lesson. Up above here is your file menu. And you're probably familiar with this from other applications. So new and open images, save, print, export, cut, copy under edit, free to transform, image size, canvas size, and then your layers tool, which we'll talk about now. Over here is your layers palette. If you think about the way they used to make old cartoons with clear sheets of plastic with things painted on them and then photographed together, sandwiched together. That's kind of what we're talking about here. So this image here is our background, and you can see that it's visible with this. If I check that, it becomes invisible. Check that back there, it's visible. Locked means I can't work with it right now. It's stuck. I can't do anything with it. If you right click on the layer, you can change the name of the layer. So you can say original file, blend mode. We can do lots of different things that we're really not going to worry about today. Transparency, if you had different layers on here and you wanted to make these transparent, or you had something behind it that you wanted to show through, you can adjust the transparency of the image there. We're going to unlock this so we can start to work with it. Also down here, merging tool. So if you had several layers that you wanted to merge together, or merge all or visible, or flatten it all together, we can do that here. You can duplicate a layer, or you can trash it altogether. So just to keep that in the top of your head. Let's keep going. All right, so the very first thing we want to do to get this logo out is we need to select it. And the way you do that is to use one of these selection tools. You could use the lasso tool, which would be fine. I find it's going to be easier, since it's pretty square as it is, to use the rectangular marquee select tool. You see up here, rectangle or ellipse. So if you want to kind of rectangular or round, you can choose those. If I go ahead and hold my cursor down where I want, hold down the left mouse button, and then drag across like this, I can drag it and move it, make it any size I want. You can do that. I mean, alternatively, if you wanted to do the ellipse, and let's say you wanted to do around something, let's say we wanted to get Captain America's head, for example, somewhat round, we can do that. We're not going to do that. Also, if you want to deselect something, you can either click once on the outside of the image, or you could hit Control D on your keyboard, and it will deselect, so you can make another selection. When I do make a selection, if I wanted to move this, the marching ants, the selection field around, you have to hold your cursor inside here, and you see how the cursor changes depending on where I place it within the marching ants. Outside and I click, it's gone. If I select again and I move it, then I can move this anywhere I want. Okay? All right. We're going to check rectangle to get this logo selected. I'm just going to select it like that. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. So if I go up to Edit and then Copy, it will copy what I've selected onto a digital clipboard. Or again, I can use the keyboard and hit Control C. Control C. Okay. Once that's done, you want to go back up to the home screen, and then go Create New. And you'll get a bunch of different selections based on pre-arranged filters, or templates rather, depending on your file size. So this is 800 by 600 pixels, 1280 by 720. We want what's on the clipboard, so it's this one right here. Go ahead and click that. Go over here to name. We're going to name this something else, because Untitled is boring. Marvel logo. Actually, we'll be a little more specific. Marvel Studios logo. Okay. Here, if we wanted a background, a different color, we could do that. We really don't need that right now, so we're just going to turn that off. This is the width and height of our selection that we copied. And then we're going to scroll down to the bottom and hit Create. Now, this shape should look familiar, because this is what you selected beforehand. And we're going to go up to Edit and Paste. Or again, you can see the shortcut is Control V. And there we go. So we have our logo ready to go. You'll notice over here, when we created that new file, it created a base layer, which we really don't need, but it's there. And if I wanted to, because this is a transparent image, there's nothing to be said. Now, if I was to make this invisible, and let's say I was going to fill it full of white, like that, and then I drug it on top of that other one, see, they're both visible now. If I drag this image over here, It's now you can't see it because this is an opaque field of color. Right click and I go to transparency like we talked about before, and you can mess around with things. So a lot of the projects we're going to be working on in Photoshop will work with transparencies, but for now, I'm just going to right click that and delete it. And now we just have the one layer. All right, so we don't, although I already showed you what the poster looks like, that this is going on, and yes, they're both yellow. If you moved it now, the yellows might be different. We don't know. Maybe it's a green poster you're moving it to. What we want to do is lift just the white and red fields out of this and leave the yellow behind. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to go ahead and use this magic wand tool. And if you see up here, there are different options in the option bar for the magic wand. This one called tolerance is something we want to pay attention to. This, you can use tolerance with the magic wand to make it more sensitive or less sensitive, meaning you can, if you just want to select one particular color and not shades of that color, you would move this down. So if I clicked 0 and I go ahead and I select something in here, the magic wand tool is going to be very picky. In fact, you can't even see because it's so, but I did select like 1 pixel. And you can kind of see this in this color field. There's a whole bunch of different yellows in here. And by leaving this tolerance at 0, the magic wand is being very picky of what it picks up. Okay, so what that means is to get all of this yellow, we're going to have to bump this up quite a bit. 32 is the basic default setting, which is pretty good. But with the yellow, this mottled mustard color, I'm going to bump this up to like 85-ish. You can double click in there and make that 85, and then enter. And if I scroll back out, by the way, if you want to scroll in or scroll out really quick and make the field fit in the window, Control-0 is the way to do it. Otherwise, you can also double click this magnifying glass. Well, at least one dimension. Control-0 is really what you want to use to get everything back in. So fit, fill. Oh, see, there's options up here. I didn't even see that. So yeah, magnifying tool, and then fit, fill 100%. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to select the magic wand tool again. Tolerance is at 85, and I'm going to select click somewhere in this yellow. Okay, not bad. It's a little, we got a little bit of red in here, so let's go ahead and move that back down to like 60. See what happens there. I clicked outside here to deselect. You can also hit Control D. So let's try it again at tolerance of 60. Yeah, not bad. Okay. So might not be perfect, but it's pretty close. Okay, remember you can hold down the Shift key and move this around with the pan tool. Okay, and then Control-0. And then what you can obviously see is that we need to pick up this yellow. Since there's a field of red between this yellow and this yellow, the magic wand didn't get it. There are other settings in Microsoft, Adobe Photoshop that you can click any kind of colors that aren't in the same field, but we'll get to that in a future lesson. To pick up more colors, to add to your selection, you can see up here this mode. There's a new selection, add to selection, and then remove from selection. So say if I wanted to add this color here, this yellow field with the magic wand, I could either click this button and go and click that, and there it is. We have this yellow selected. Or I can also just hold down the Shift key and then click, and there it's selected as well. You can, if you really want to be picky, go ahead and hold down Shift and click the insides of these letters. Hold down the space bar, move over, hold down the Shift key, click, and now if I go back to Control-0, that looks pretty much like what we want. Now here's the thing though, we are selecting all of the yellow, and we don't want to select, we want to get rid of that. So now that we've selected all of the yellow, go ahead and hit your backspace key or your delete key, and it's gone. And so if we hit Control-D or to deselect, there we go. There you have your logo. At this point, I want to go ahead and save, but I can notice over here there's a little bit of a little character that we missed, or that I missed. So I'm going to scroll over as much as I can. Scroll in there, move over, and so it's probably a good idea to clear that out. I'm going to go ahead and hit this eraser tool. The brush size is up here. If you're zoomed in a lot like I am here, the brush size is pretty big, and so it's going to be tough for me to do that. So I'm going to go up here and choose the size. I'm going to reduce that down to say like 15 or 10 or something. We'll do that. Okay. And then we go down here and look, it's a much easier size to use. All I want to do is just click and hold down the mouse key, left mouse key, and there you go. I just scrub over that, and then we're good to go. Okay, now we have a clean logo that we can apply to our poster. So at this point, I want you to either hit Control S or go down to File and then Save. We want to save it as a JPEG, I want you to save it as a PNG file, so that way the background keeps transparent. Marvel Studios logo, PNG, and we'll download this. It's going to download someplace, probably your downloads file on your computer. If you remember in class, we went ahead and went over what File Explorer is. You want to go to the icon, I'm sorry, there we go, this icon here, this yellow File Explorer tool, and then we'll maneuver to download, see if it's there. And there we go, Marvel Studios logo.png, and it's there, so that's good. Okay, hit close, and then we're going to want to go home, and then open image, and then I want you to maneuver to that poster needs logo, and there it is. Go ahead and hit open, again, full HD, and apply, and here's our poster. You're going to kind of see them. Let's go full screen here. There we go, much easier. Since we have some space here, this is where we want to put this. Probably the easiest thing to do would be to, in Photoshop, there's a way to paste or place an image, but Pixlr really doesn't give us an option to do that. So I'm going to go over in these tabs here. These are the files we've had open. So here's our original mag cover. Here's the Marvel Studios logo. Here's Poster Needs logo. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and just select all. So Control A, or edit, or I'm sorry, select and then select all. Okay, you want to hit copy, so it's now on your clipboard. Poster Needs logo, and then Control V or paste in the edit menu, and there we go. Also notice here that we've got the background image. It's locked. Again, because when you open up something like this, you have to manually unlock this to work with it. We really don't want to work with it. We're just going to place this as a layer. Going to go here to the Arrange tool. And once you do that, your layer, things in your layer are now chosen. This little blue box allows you to do some things. If I hold down this handle here, I can rotate. And the farther out I get my cursor from the file or the image, the easier it is to rotate, the more fine control you get. Okay, I don't want to do that, so hit Control Z to undo. Or you can go up to, I think it's, yeah, right here, undo. And also there's redo if you want to hit Control Y. Okay, these corner boxes here are anchor points, and this allows us to click the mouse on the left-hand side and hold, and then you can drag it back and forth to get your size correct. I want to center this into the poster, so when you do this, Pixlr will give you a pink line when things are centered or lined up together. If I wanted to center it in the middle horizontally, there'd be two lines. But since I do that, I'm kind of covering up the falcon right here, so I'm just going to use my arrow keys to kind of, if you hold down Shift and then arrow key, you can kind of move it around to where you want. I don't think Iron Man's going to mind too much that his jets from his boots are getting covered up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and click somewhere out here. And there we go. Looks pretty good. So that's the lesson. To go ahead and save this for turn-in, go up to File again. You can either go export, but I think it'd be better just to save. I want you to save it as a JPEG. Make sure this quality is turned up to 100%. And then maybe something like poster needs logo, or now maybe it's poster has. See if I download that, and then you're going to want to go back to Teams, and when you go to your assignment, go to Attach, find your file, and then go up to yours over here will say Turn In, and that's it. I hope this made sense. If you need any questions answered, just reach out, and we'll go from there. Thanks.